Software testing has been prevalent for years now, and it has moved from the phase where it was considered not to be a separate vertical, and pretty much the persons who are writing code or developers were expected to test their code. And then over the course of time, they realized the value of having an independent function which could actually test software. Now we see this come a full circle in the last 25 years, where there is focus on trying to have engineers with a unified skill set who can develop software, who can build, who can test and deploy. So it means that quality assurance professionals need to think about how they can upskill themselves to still stay relevant, which means that if you are a manual black box test engineer, your career is pretty much done. You need to be able to write code, you need to be able to deploy code, you need to understand how cloud hosted services work, and definitely not shy away from adapting to these changes and to upskill yourself.
The software testing, and I like to qualify that word quality assurance with software testing here, because that's what I deal with. So software testing job market is a pretty interesting market. Most of the time students haven't really heard about software testing as a job opportunity, or it's like Siberia, everybody has heard but nobody wants to go there, and they do it without really realizing what they are missing. And actually when they go to various companies, what happens is ultimately they are put in some sort of testing job, like it or not. So it's better to be prepared, know your strengths and weaknesses, and accordingly choose a job. So software testing is a fantastic opportunity for a lot of college students. There was a time when software testing was all manual testing. Now you have software testing which is manual, automated. There are a lot of new technologies that are coming in. So it's the perfect time when people come out of college, they are fresh with their coding skills. So good coding skills and good analytical skills and the will to trouble other people to find problems in their work. This is all that you need to be a good software tester.
For anybody to succeed in the software testing vertical, one needs to first have an aptitude for testing, and it's not about anybody can test software. Yes, they can, but then software testing is a science, and one needs to have the right attitude and the aptitude to be able to test software well. There are various aspects that contribute to being a good software test engineer. One is that you need to understand the domain. So if, for example, you're testing banking software, you need to understand finance. If you're testing healthcare software, you need to understand the healthcare domain. If you're testing a creative product like, let's say, Photoshop or Illustrator, you need to understand how those products work and who is the target segment. This is one. In addition to this, you need to be able to write code, you need to be able to you need to know what are the various kinds of testing that happen and build expertise in any one of these areas.
The skills that you need to be a good software tester, and there are various names that are given to this particular position. I'm using the word software tester. You could have a word like SDET, Software Development Engineer in Testing, or you could have a Software Quality Engineer, Quality Assurance, doesn't matter. What you need are the following: testing skills. By testing skills, we mean ability to analyze, ability to think beyond the obvious, ability to look at broad picture and find out what somebody could be missing, ability to get into the shoes of users and think how users are going to use. So that's the aspect of skills which are thinking skills, which are not really hard technical skills. You also need hard technical skills, ability to understand design, ability to understand requirements, ability to code, ability to write your own tools, because technologies have changed. Now you have Agile and DevOps, where testers are supposed to be same as developers and developers are supposed to be same as testers. So whatever skills you need as a developer, you need also as a tester.
My take on this is that everyone in the team is responsible for quality. So while we have a vertical which is doing testing or assuring quality, every individual on the team, whether it is a developer, whether it's a product manager, whether it's a designer, everyone is responsible for the quality, and each one of them brings a different perspective. So a developer probably understands the code that he or she has written best, and they'll be able to find defects. The product manager, since they define the requirements for the product, they know which are the areas which are most vulnerable. The designers, since they are responsible for the experience, they know the areas that a user will most likely get stuck in. Hence, my firm belief is that quality is the responsibility of everyone in the team.
When a project is being managed, especially now that Agile, and if you haven't heard that word, then it's time that you read a bit about Agile. In Agile, there is nothing called as project management per se. Everybody is supposed to be managing, everybody is supposed to be doing everything, everybody is responsible for quality. DevOps is something which is becoming very popular, and DevOps again require you to have all sorts of skills. And again, quality is everybody's responsibility. Nobody can say that specifically you would be responsible for quality. As a developer, I code, I'm responsible for quality of my code. As a tester, when I write test tools or I write tests, I'm responsible for quality of those. Overall, everybody is responsible.
So as the industry is evolving and we have moved from shrink wrap software or software that would ship on disks and which would ship every few years to this new age where software is deployed every few weeks, at times few days, at times multiple times in one day. It means that QE need to adapt themselves to this changing trend, and we can't stick to the traditional model of having week-long or month-long certification cycles. And for this, you need to figure out how you can build more automation, how you can think upfront about how to make testing part of the development process so that your code can be tested very quickly and more efficiently.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.